We got that Poppa pig. We got that Poppa pig. We got that Poppa pig. We got that Poppa pig.
Yeah. Here we are.
Let's do it.
Let's do it old school. Kick it old school. Greetings. Welcome to the Poppa Pank podcast. I am Jaylene Clark Owens, and this is my friend and my co-host,
Justin J.
There's a lot of gray in the world. We think it needs a little more Pank. A Poppa Pank. We are Philly-based, multi-hyphenated, and award-winning actors taking on all things arts and culture in this joy-forward and ever-playful variety podcast. You are listening to our theme song composed by Jordan McCree. We welcome you, Pank Poppas, both old and new. Please rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. We appreciate y'all. And with that, you know what? We're going to go ahead and get started.
Yes. You know, I am hooked on our special guest this episode, Jaylene. We have performer, puppeteer, puppet designer, and all-around awesome human, Cedwan Hooks in the house. Now, Jaylene and I have a very special professional relationship with Cedwan, as he worked as one of the extraordinary puppeteers and puppet wranglers on Albie's Elevator with Jaylene and I. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Jaylene will fill you in just a second, but we both met Cedwan, and we were instantly charmed when we met him on set. He hails from Atlanta, so not only does he have that southern twang, he's got just an extremely easygoing and warm personality and tons of talent to boot. Yes. We'll hear from him today all about what he does, and just like us, he traverses both stage and screen. Now, I am personally excited to connect with a fellow puppeteer because a lot of our Pank Poppas out there may not know this, but I spent a good deal of my early years as a puppeteer for Disney and worked with tons of puppet and mask companies in Philly, like Mum Puppet Theater and Enchantment Theater Company. So I'm particularly excited to hear about his adventures and what that art form is like for him these days.
Yes. Side note, I need to learn more about your puppeteer experience as well, because I actually don't know that much. So you'll have to let us know about that. But in the meantime, as Justin mentioned, we met our special guest, Cedwan, on the set of Albie's Elevator. So our last episode, season 4, episode 68, was called The Albie Preview, and we talked all things Albie's Elevator. If you don't know, it's an all-new original TV show for preschoolers brought to you by WHYY, which is Philadelphia's PBS affiliate. So we on a PBS show, y'all. Each half-hour episode follows the adventures of self-appointed elevator operator Albie as she navigates her big feelings with the help of her grown-up neighbors. Now, Justin plays Jay and I play Rosie. So if you missed our last episode, definitely make sure you go back and watch it on YouTube or Facebook as we talk all things Albie, including how we got cast in the same show and didn't know, what it was like on set, and much more. But in today's episode, we have our special guest, and at the end of the night, we'll be announcing the winner of our Cirque du Soleil giveaway that we did on Instagram. So, you know what? Cheers to that.
Speaking of cheers, I think it's time for our Poppa drink.
Get your glass so we can clank.
It's time for that. Poppa drink.
Poppa drink.
Poppa drink.
Poppa drink.
Poppa drink. And cheers. And cheers.
Cheers.
Arriba, abajo, a centro, pa dentro. Jingle la cara, mabuhay, wello. Okay, Pank Poppas. Let us know what you're drinking out there in the world. You could type it, or if you're listening to our podcast and you're driving or doing the dishes, just scream it out loud and we'll hear it. So, Jaylene, what are you drinking right now?
I'm having a little, it's called the Absolute Pineapple Martini. Oh, yeah, Martini.
Okay.
You know, so it's a little canned drink. Okay. Ready to drink with pineapple flavor. So shout out to the Bishops. I had this at one of they're my friends, and I had this at one of their barbecues, and I took it home, and I'm just now drinking it. That was like a while ago. So I hope it's still good, child. I hope it don't expire. So that's my drink. What are you drinking?
For a second there, I thought you were shouting out like the Catholic Church. Shout out to the bishops. I was like, there's something I don't know. Well, Jaylene, since it is summer, I wanted to toast with a crisp cold beer. So today I am enjoying this Cape May Brewing Company beer. And not only is it one of the best New Jersey beaches for the summer, but this drink has special memories for me that are fitting for this episode. First, a cold beer on a hot summer day will always remind me of hanging on the stoop with my neighbors, which I recently did. And it's just a summertime tradition here for me in South Philly. And this one is also a pretty common for casts of all the puppet shows that I did in the past. We would go out for beers at the end of the night. So this seems fitting as we have a puppeteer extraordinaire, Cedwan Hooks, on this episode. So here's me drinking my beer backstage with the others. If there's any drinks out there, Pank Poppas, shout them out as you're doing your dishes. But in the meantime, that has me tickled Pank.
Does it now? Well, that's funny because you know what? That brings us to our next segment, Tickle Pank. Now, Tickle Pank is where we usually talk about something that has recently been bringing us joy. And it is a bit of a catch up for Justin and I. So, Justin, what has you tickled Pank these days?
Okay, so I recently closed 12th Night at the Wilma. It was such a joyful, forward-thinking version of Shakespeare. It was super queer. It was a celebration of the Hot House and just a really wonderful way to end our season. And it's still streaming. So you can stream it now through July 23rd. I'm going to tell you about that more later. I also started rehearsals for other orbits with Applied Mechanics. I'm going to talk about that more later. But the thing that I really want to uplift is eating at Tabat Choy in Philly. Now, Tabat Choy is like Filipino cuisine, street food. I've been waiting for this to happen to Philadelphia for a long time. We have like upscale Filipino places, but this is like, it was like mom's meals and it's all the best stuff. So, Jaylene, whenever you're ready to do a pop around town,
let me know.
We're going to go to Tabat Choy, which is like, it's like a loving, it's TABACHOY. You can Google it. You can look it up. Follow them on Instagram. That means like it's like an endearing term of saying like fat kid, like fat one.
Oh, okay.
So, Jaylene, what has you tickled Pank?
Well, that meaning has me tickled Pank, but also I am tickled Pank because it is finally my favorite season. Summertime. I just love, getting the vocals warm. I just love all things summer. The warmth, the sun, the beach, the foods. So I'm very tickled Pank that we are officially here. I'm also tickled Pank about my merch. If you're listening to us, just know I have on a shirt from my JCO merch collection, and it says Black Girl and Braids and Locks and Froze and Twists and Switch Up, and that is inspired by my EP, A Black Girl and Her Hair, specifically from my poems. Well, all the poems, actually. This is all the poems in one. And I'm just very excited. You can go to JayleneClarkOwens.com/shop to check it out. But yeah, I have shirts. I have water bottles.
Yes.
Showing you. I have cell phone case thingies. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. Cell phone cases. And more on my little website.
I saw one of your sweaters live today on Brett Robinson, Brett Freeman. She was wearing Black Girl and Her Fro, and it looks so good in person. So JayleneClarkOwens.com/shop.
Yes, I'm very excited about that. And then finally, I was very tickled Pank. I actually just posted a video on my Instagram with a little recap. I got to do the Crave Monco month preview, which is basically like a restaurant week, but all month long out in Montgomery County. So, Montgomery County has like Norristown, King of Prussia, And so I got to go around to 3 different locations. We went to Five Saints Distillery in Norristown, Hook and Ladder Sky Bar and Restaurant in Conshohocken, and Davio's Northern Italian Steakhouse. I guess that's technically in King of Prussia. Yeah, in King of Prussia. And yeah, I was with other influencers, so that was really cool. And we just ate and drank, and I was tickled.
I was so sad I didn't make it there.
I know.
Next time. Well, maybe this week we'll get to do something fun as the influencers, which we'll talk about next episode.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Well, all of this news is absolutely poppin'. And speaking of poppin', I think it's about that time for the segment we've all been waiting for. Poppin' with Poppa Pank.
Yay!
At Poppa Pank, love this interview segment. This is our chance to catch up with some of our industry friends and share with our audiences a little bit about their processes and personal stories as professional artists. This is where you've seen us hang out with folks like James Imes, Davi Diggs, Robin Hood, Khalil Kane, Tasha Marie Canales, Mama Pat, and a host of other film, TV, stage, and music, and now puppet artists. So
let's get into this bio. Me. Cedwan Hooks is a puppet artist from Kansas City who has worked internationally known on the microphone. His puppeteering credits include The Curse of Bridge Hollow, Netflix, Helpsters on Apple TV Plus / Sesame Workshop, Moon and Me, CBBS, his history with the Fabric Workshop and Museum, Albie's Elevator with PBS Kids, and Doom Patrol with DC Universe. He is the spokesperson for Primrose School in the role of Percy the Rooster. Percy is very cute. I looked up Percy. I was like, oh my gosh, so very cute. As a designer, Cedwan has created walkaround / puppet works for Aerosmith, Warner Brothers, Comedy Center, Georgia Aquarium, the Public Good Project, and 20th Century Fox World in Malaysia. Okay?
Malaysia.
Yes, Malaysia. He also worked as a puppet designer and walk-around trainer for DreamWorks Experience in Macau. Whew. Please give a warm welcome as I get my banners together. Give a warm welcome to Cedwan Hooks.
Cedwan! Yes, welcome. We can't hear you, but wait.
Oh, I muted you. I muted you earlier, and then here you go.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
there's your beautiful voice, Cedwan. Welcome to Poppa Pank. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. How are you doing, and what is your Poppa drank?
I am doing great. Y'all are great. You guys look great. I'm so happy to see y'all glowing the way you were on set. Shout out to both of y'all's hair, by the way. I had the chance to look while I was watching. I'm like, oh my God. The pop of red up there.
Yes, for our listeners at home, I have pink hair from a leftover from 12th night.
It's so
Daleen, what hair do you have for the listeners?
You know, we have a little ombre situation. You can't really see the ombre because it's covered by this scarf, which I said kind of looks like I'm cleaning on Saturday morning, but it's all right. But the bottom of it is giving a little golden brown ombre, honey blonde situation.
Hey, and you're wearing all purple. That's my favorite color. I love purple.
With a Poppa Pank.
Cedwan, do you have a Poppa drank tonight?
My Poppa drink is water.
Yes. Hydrate. Stay awake.
In my Aflac cup, because I just did an Aflac commercial.
I know that's right.
Last week, yeah.
Look at you, all over the place.
Yeah, most people don't know that duck is a puppet. Most people are like, isn't that CG or something?
I thought it was like a mixture. Isn't it a mixture of CG? It's only been
all practical. It's an animatronic puppet, and the thing looks real in person. Like when you see it, it looks like a taxidermy duck. But
That's good.
yeah.
Look at Jalen is shocked.
I am shocked because I definitely thought that was CGI.
Nope, it's a puppet. They just
You
wipe
know-
the rods and get rid of the rods on them.
I think we've been burned here in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, because we have Gus, the groundhog, who represents the PA lottery.
Oh.
And Gus, for the longest time, was a puppet. And just like that, CGI. And we lost the magic of puppetry.
Man.
Oh.
Yeah.
I know. You know it. You know how it is too well. But we're going to ask you a few questions. And then because we're all about the shenanigans, we're going to play some games. So Pank Poppa's out there. If you have any questions for Cedwan, you can pop them in our chat if you're watching us live. And we'll do our best to get some of them answered.
Yes. Okay. So this first question is a 3-part question. So just feel free to like rattle off the answers. Where did you grow up? Where your people from? And what is your favorite or one of your favorite foods?
All right. Originally, I'm from Kansas City.
I'm sorry. I know I said you hailed from Atlanta.
Well, that's where I've been based for like 10 years now. So,
but Kansas City, you're from.
I'm from Kansas City originally. That's where I grew up, and that's where my folks are. And that, all of my people basically are in Kansas City. I've got some other folks in some other places, but they're like sprinkles. We're all in Kansas City. We're right there. Let's see.
Favorite food?
Favorite food. Crab legs all day.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I can get into some crab legs. I'm like, it's like I'm quick with it. I don't need no tools.
Yes. Yes. Do you have any good crab leg stories? Because my dad, we in Tampa, so I'm from Florida. Crab leg, all you can eat is a thing down there. We sold out a restaurant. They literally shut down the restaurant and said, "We have no more crabs, sir." He kept ordering bucket after bucket, and we were just sitting there for hours. And then they were finally like, "We ran out. We have no more legs because you did that."
See, that I could sit there and do that. That's the thing. Because the thing about crab legs is the you work so hard to get the little bit of meat that by the time you get to it, you don't worked up an appetite to eat some more. So, but crab leg story. I can tell you one crab leg story that my sister would hate for me to tell, but I'm gonna tell it anyway. There was one year that she wanted so bad. She was a preteen at this time. She wanted so badly to get her ears pierced, and my mama would not let her get her ears pierced at Claire's. So we went to the casino instead and went to the buffet and got crab, and we all got our crab legs, and she cried the entire meal over her crab legs.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
But then she eventually got her ears pierced.
Yeah, she got her ears pierced. It probably was like a week later that she got the chance to get her ears pierced, but she was just so sad.
I hope one day you get her little crab earrings as like you remember when.
I'm sure.
So, Cedwan, I would love for you to tell us a little bit more about you as a puppeteer and a designer. Like, how did you get into that, and what kind of work do you tend to gravitate to? It seems like you do a lot, but I'm wondering if there's any one of those in particular that like really lights you up.
How do I get into it? Well, it's one of those things where either people get into it later in life or it's like a lifelong vocation. For me, it was a lifelong thing. And I grew up, I was a Barney kid. I watched Barney on PBS all the time and always wanted to rewind the tapes. And I was just glued to the TV. And I didn't realize what it was at the time, but I was just like, my brain was like, how is this happening? Like the fascination was, this is a strange thing that moves funny, and I like it. And it really set off when I got the chance to see the puppet in person, and it looked exactly like it did on TV. And I was like, how the magic trick still worked in person. And when I got to be like 5 years old or something, my sister was sick of me watching Barney. So she, to try to cut that off, she's like, that's just a man in a suit, right? And I was like, really? Now you've got a lifelong sentence of watching this show. And so I spent years and years and years like watching VHS tapes and standing this close to the TV trying to figure out where the seams were and figure out how it was put together, and and it expanded to watching other puppet shows, of course, Sesame Street and Bear in the Big Blue House and all of those shows. And that's the thing about my perspective with puppetry. Most people, they start out liking like the Muppets and Sesame Street, but because I started with Barney, my entry was walk-arounds, like big costume characters with moving faces. And so I've always been open to all kinds of puppetry. And so my sensibilities of expression tend to list toward building walk-around characters and larger puppets, but I can build hand puppets and but as far as performing, it's a free-for-all. I love performing all kinds of puppet. It's just whatever gets the character across. But the simplest answer with both walk-arounds and puppets is I like the closest you can get to the puppet. Like if you can be inside the thing, making everything happen, that's what I like the most, as opposed to being detached or you know, a marionette. Although I've done marionettes, I've done lot of different kinds. Yeah, marionettes are a whole different beast.
It's like playing a guitar. The walk-arounds are really fascinating to me. And for our listeners out there, can you just describe what that is a little bit more?
Of course, yeah. And I call them walk-arounds. This is the thing about puppetry. It's such a small world that there's no unified language for anything. And everywhere you go, people call things different things. And especially when I'm working internationally, I have to kind of find out what those locals call those things and you know, kind of unify the language with whatever team I'm working with. But I'm sorry, I forgot what the question was.
Walk-arounds, and especially like I think a lot of our listeners might be excited to hear how like Barney works, or how both of the arms on Big Bird work, or things like that.
Walk-arounds are basically the differentiator from mascots and walk-arounds.
I was just about to ask that. Thank you.
Exactly. A mascot is just, you just wear it. You can't operate the face. It's a static face. It's a costume, basically. A walk-around puppet is something it's a puppet. It's a wearable puppet where you can reach in and operate the face or blink the eyes or whatever. And they work in a number of different ways. And the thing about them is they're often deceptively simple from the outside. But people have no idea how much is going on the inside. There's Big Bird, who is basically, it's a hand puppet up here. The head is a hand puppet. And Matt Vogel or Carol Spinney are concealed inside the puppet, working the head up here. And this arm, when this arm goes down, it brings up this arm, because there's a fishing line that goes from the wrist up through the neck down to the dummy hand that's stuffed, and it gives the other hand motion. That's how Big Bird works. Barney was a bit different. They're remaking the series now, but the classic Barney that everyone knows was all one piece, all connected except for the feet, and they wore him on a harness. His head is attached to a harness that comes up over the puppeteer's head, and they see out of the mouth. And there's a bar that no other puppet works like this. It's really a strange way to do it. But there's a bar that goes across the inside of his jaw that they used to bite and bob their head to make the mouth open and close.
What?
So that's why you never saw Barney's head turn.
Wasn't Bear the same way? I thought that was a chin activated bar.
No, Bear was like Big Bird. Bear was similar to, it's just really small, and it was smaller setup. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there's a number of different ways that you could operate them, but yeah, it's basically a wearable puppet that conceals the performer. The illusion works in person and on camera.
I love that. Like, I love finding out how things work. So this is just it's very exciting. So yeah. Okay.
Good.
Next question. Let's talk about Albie's elevator. Last episode, Justin and I recapped all of our joys and celebrations working on the show as Rosie and Jay. So can you share with our Pank Poppas your role on Albie's elevator, as well as just what the experience was like for you?
Yeah, my role on Albie's was unique because I'm either doing technical stuff or performing, and on Albie's I was doing both things. So I was a puppeteer and puppet wrangler on Albie's elevator.
Wrangler, that's
yeah, puppeteers are below the camera performing the characters above their heads, watching monitors and performing in real time, watching their performance. A puppet wrangler is basically hair and makeup for puppets. So we make sure that they look great for camera and everything. And puppets often can't do things without assistance. So if they need to open a doorknob or pick up a prop or something like that, they need to have whatever the prop is rigged into their hand, or if they need to wear a costume, that's me on that show. That was me.
Yeah.
And I did both of those things. I hopped in as a puppeteer when needed, and then also took care of Albie and all of her little friends.
It was so wonderful. Like, Pank Poppas, you have to understand, like, Albie was there, and Albie is the puppet. But you cannot be touching Albie if it's not in your scene to touch Albie. You cannot just be touching Albie. And Cedwan made sure of that.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just awesome. You can't just be like touching Albie's hair. Cedwan would make sure the hair, you smooth her little fur hair down and everything. Like, it was really cool to see. I've never worked with any type of puppet. So it was just awesome. A puppet wrangler.
And I will say, like, there was a rotating team of puppet wranglers in addition to like our primary puppeteers. And every time I saw Cedwan's name on that call sheet, I was like, yes. That's all I'll say. But
I always looked forward to seeing both of y'all because there was a quality about you that you can see it on the Pank Poppas can see it on camera, like how warm they are and how perfect their speech is and how everything sounds like it's written down. It's how they are in person. It's like you just see them and you're like, I see why you're
yay.
I see why you are booked and blessed.
Oh, well, crossing our fingers for another season, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about your design work. So I know that you've also worked in theme parks like I have, and my gosh, I love that you design and perform for the stage as well.
Mm-hmm.
So let's first see a sample of Cedwan's puppets from his latest show, Demons, at the Bushwick Star. I love this character so much, Cedwan.
Is it playing? Okay.
Yes. Okay, so for our Pank Poppas that are listening, it's kind of like a big reddish monster with yellow eyes that the lids open and close, eyebrows go up and down, the mouth opens, big yellow face, teeth. No, there's no yellow tummy, big sharp teeth, underbite, purple lips, big red nose, a little devil tail, kind of like triangle, inverted triangle shape.
Yeah, if you get the chance to watch the video, you want to take the time to do that because it's definitely a character that I'm proud of.
Wait, where's the video?
Oh no, I'm talking to the listeners.
Yes.
I was like, I want to tune in.
So is that you performing the puppet for the team?
No, that was an incredible performer named Joseph Limas, who I had actually met at the Henson workshop that we had in the Jim Henson Company wanted to deepen their bench and train young puppeteers. And so they flew a lot of us out and trained us for 3 weeks.
That's huge.
Yeah. And that's where I met Joseph. And Joseph is definitely like just a wonderful performer first, a great actor, great comedian. He does stand up. He's
Oh wow.
He's hilarious, just like in conversation. And he did a great job performing Danley, who's the name of that character. Yeah.
Nice. How fitting. Well, that must have been so awesome to bring your work from like page to stage, a designer and puppet trainer. Can you talk about your process for that piece and any other projects you have cooking up that you can publicly share?
Yeah, I was brought on to the creative team for Demons very early, which is the right way to do it. And it rarely happens that way. Usually it's really late in the process that people think to bring in a puppet designer. But for this show, I was brought in very early on. The show had done a workshop in 2018, but in 2022, we went to the New York Stage and Film Festival, which was the first time that I met the playwright Keeley Gibson, who's an incredible playwright who's won a bunch of awards, and John Riddleberger, who brought me in for the project. John Riddleberger was our puppet director, and he was a performer in Warhorse. If you saw the national touring Warhorse, you saw John performing in Joey. I think that's the horse's name.
Yeah.
And it was just an awesome process. It was a collaboration between me, John, and Keeley giving us his vision. And he wrote a very vivid description of Danley in the script that he wrote. And I was like, And I just so happened to have a Disney trip. Me and my girlfriend Jamaica just happened to have a Disney trip planned. And so it was perfect market research. I was like taking notes and taking pictures of everything while we were there. And before I got to the New York Stage and Film Festival, I was like, I think I know who this is. It'll take a look at Keeley's description, took some liberties and scribbled something down and showed it to him at New York Stage and Film. And everyone was like, that's him right there. There were no changes. That also never happens. There were no design changes. And it was just a dream build. Like everything, I drew everything into place that I wanted to build. You know, you rarely get the opportunity to build walkarounds because they're so expensive.
Yeah.
And they're a very specific thing. So I was really happy to be brought on for that project.
That's
so
great.
Did you draw it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm also first.
Yeah, I draw it in 2D. I do an illustration first to see, and I'll just do a black and white sketch first, and then a color proof, and then if there are any changes to be made, do it there before you do it in 3D because it'll take forever to change it after that.
It's such a good puppet, and I'm like, you showed me actually a picture of one of your sketches during Albie's. I was like,
oh, I did?
Yeah, and that's so wild, like to see that from whatever you showed me to now, and that's really admirable and just expert. So much. I'm just like sidebar curious if you prefer to gravitate more towards the stage or film, like because I actually feel like those are two. Watching you all work. Because I'm trained as a stage puppeteer, like you have to watch it, you're imbuing it this way. Yeah. But for the puppeteers on Albie's Elevator and on film, they're always looking at a screen down here.
Yeah.
So it feels like that would be two very different parts of my brain going. But I'm curious which one you gravitate more towards.
I don't have a preference really. I just like performing. Yeah. And designing. For both of those things, I like both. But what you're describing with on camera puppeteering, I really love I might say on camera. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, because it's such a specific skill, and you can take the time to perfect it. It's not like a one and done sort of thing, which I'm sure y'all are familiar with. It's nice to be able to stop tape and be like, can I get one more of those?
Yeah.
You know, and it's oftentimes to me, it's just more. It's a little more streamlined. It makes more sense to my brain to do something once and forget it, than to sort of revamp it over and over. But I enjoy both. I love both because that's the thing about the stage. You get the chance to perfect specific things because you're doing the same thing over and over again. And yeah, but I might say my preference is on camera.
Nice.
That's awesome. This is for our Pank Poppas. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments. But in the meantime, my next question. So I have learned so much about puppetry from working on Albie's elevator, but I know that I only got a small glimpse. So for example, I had no idea that you could have multiple people sitting very close together operating one puppet. As you mentioned earlier, like if the puppet needs to pick something up, you're going to need an additional hand or two to make that happen. So what is something about puppetry that most people would never know?
Yeah, what you were just saying, there's a saying that I've heard different variations of it amongst like cast and crew and also specific to puppeteers. It's like you hear people say shows don't want to get made or puppets don't want to get made. The thing itself is going to resist when you're trying to create it. And puppets are like that, man. Everything you see on camera is deliberate because you really have to bring it down to a science. But one specific thing about puppetry that most folks wouldn't think about is eye focus. And I can show you on a puppet that's in progress right now.
Yay.
If she's up here, you're not going to see, she's not going to look like she's looking at you. But to nail it, you have to bring her face to a certain spot. And that
is a pinhole.
Yeah. And it's not over here, it's not here. It's right there.
That is so that right now you're touching on like a major difference between film and stage. I feel like stage is a lot more forgiving. And the precision that you need with film, every gesture is completely legible.
Right.
On the stage, you can sort of do a wash or do something general because you need to reach people in the back row.
You're kind of like a sprinkler.
It's just like acting. It's like human acting. Very different worlds, but similar mechanisms.
Definitely, yeah. And the other thing about on-camera puppeteering that I'm not sure if you guys noticed it on Albie's. All puppeteers learn this like traditionally because it's just the one way that we all do it. We'd all be thrown off if it went the other way. Is the monitors aren't flipped. Like more often than not, when you're on selfie mode or whatever on camera, your camera's flipped so that you don't have to wrap your head around the fact that you're going one way and you're going the other way on screen.
Yeah.
But ours are not flipped. So if the puppet goes over here, that's happening on your monitor because you're seeing what the audience sees from the camera's perspective. So that's a learning curve. You have to log enough hours to where that is second nature because you don't want to be thinking about what's left and what's right. You want to be making acting choices.
Yeah. I'm so glad you said that.
You want to be, you have to work to get to the point where you're acting. You're not, thinking about all the technical stuff.
Wow. For our Pank Poppas out there, I want y'all to know that is what we deal with StreamYard. If I'm raising, child, look, I gotta look. When I'm raising my right hand, I'm looking at myself and it looks like my left hand, which is why it took me a long time to know to go like this when I'm pointing to Justin.
I wondered that.
On the screen, it's the other way.
Yeah.
You are not on this side of me. You are on the opposite side. So I just give it up to y'all because I did not peep that on Albie's elevator. And that is so tricky in my mind.
Right.
So
and above you, and you can't look live. You have to look at your monitor to see what the composition is, and you're making room for other puppets and making sure it looks right on screen, and considering all of the stuff that you need to consider. The other people that have that skill set are weathermen, because they're turned looking at a monitor over here, and they have to make sure.
You're right.
Wow.
Amazing. Okay. Is it me again? I'm asking a lot of questions. Well,
all right.
Here go my next question. So on this show, Pop Pank, we love uplifting fellow BIPOC artists in all mediums. So for us as Philly-based actors, the work written specifically for our voices has been growing, but we still have a little more work to do, and the industry and local institutions are still predominantly white. So what has your experience been like in your medium in the markets that you work in?
Yeah, puppetry, just like most other things in entertainment and everywhere, has been predominantly white forever. And it's such a small world. People refer their friend, they refer who they know. So you would, for the longest time, there were like maybe 2 or 3 Black puppeteers that would work all the time because they were the only few people. So when I entered, it was they were beginning to make that effort, but the residuals of the old television community was still in place. And the other thing is, with puppetry, like with animation, it took a long time for people to say, wait a minute, white people shouldn't be playing Black characters, So I've been thankful that not long after I started working in television, they started making really concerted efforts to deepen their benches, which is what the program at Henson made sure to bring in different kinds of people from all different kinds of backgrounds. And Sesame is working to make race a big part of the conversation on the TV show, in addition to everything else. And I'm just happy to see it open up in that way. There's still a lot of work to do, of course, but we're grateful to see the change happen. It's a shame that 2020 had to happen, to kick a lot of people in the pants, but it's good that we're moving in the direction that we are. So.
Well, you are clearly a celebrity in your industry, and I hope that your voice keeps blossoming and we keep seeing more of those credits on your resume grow. But I have one last question before we get into some shenanigans. Okay, so this is just, what are some other things about your life outside of being an artist that you love doing in the world? What else gives you joy?
I so appreciate this question because nobody ever asked this. I like this. This is probably my favorite question that y'all asked. I hike. I like hiking. I like being out in the woods. I don't like staying the night in the woods now. We're gonna hike for 20 minutes and we're gonna turn around.
That's right.
Come on out.
That's right.
Birds. I had birds for most of my childhood. Cockatiels.
Really?
And I'm obsessed with all things birds. So if you ever want to give me a little gift, a bird thing is always a nice thing. I love birds.
Noted.
So when on your hikes, can you can hear, are you a birder? You just hear a call and you're like, that's it.
There is, in my breezeway, there is a nest right there with some barn swallows that my girlfriend and I watched them over the summer. They bring little bits of mud and stick them on there and build their little nest with it. And we were like, what are they doing? One is always sitting there. And I was like, wait a minute. I think she's sitting on some eggs. And they all hatched. And one day we just saw a bunch of them in a row, like beep, 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 beep. And yeah, I think they grew that first batch outgrew the nest. And I think they're raising up a new batch of them now.
Wow.
Yeah.
They knew where to nest.
Exactly. And the funny
Mhm.
thing is they poop all over my neighbor's doorway, but they don't poop on mine. So they must
See?
know.
Look at that.
They know
Look
home.
at that.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. I'm really excited about playing some games with you. So
Yeah.
our next segment is called Pank Games, and we're gonna warm up. So two really easy. This is just an easy warm up. This is just for you, Cedwan. This is just rapid fire questions. 10 questions, your gut answer, and then we'll
All
jump
right.
into our main game. So first question: Pee-wee's Playhouse or Sesame Street?
Pee-wee's Playhouse. It's weird.
Good. A favorite season?
Oh, favorite season, the first one. Because it was especially weird. Like, what is
Oh,
this?
amazing. I meant the fate like winter, fall, spring, summer.
Oh, favorite season? I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, that's good.
Probably the fall.
Fall.
Because it's
Okay.
nice and calm.
A favorite snack?
Favorite snack? Chocolate.
A TV show that you're watching?
Righteous Gemstones.
Yes. A summertime activity that you love besides hiking?
Swimming.
Swimming. Okay, if you were a Disney character, who would you be and why?
Maui, because he's big and his tattoo moves.
Okay, cats, dogs, fish, or birds? I know the answer already.
Birds all day, man.
Okay,
That's amazing.
favorite. You're based out of Atlanta, so favorite thing about Atlanta?
Everything about Atlanta, the artsy community, there's graffiti everywhere. It's really cool.
Yes. What was your favorite subject in school?
Theater.
Okay.
Of course.
Let's see. Hand puppet, like rod, tabletop, marionette, or full body?
Full body.
Of course. A surprising fact about you.
I have 6 toenails.
Ah,
Toenails, not toes.
Just toenails.
ah.
Nice. Let that steep.
I'll let
And
it marinate.
the last one is something pink.
So, something pink.
That
Flowers.
flower.
Oh,
You are full of it. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so now we're gonna play a game called Smush, and you may have played something similar to this. So the way this works is, we're each gonna give 3 clues, and the answer to a clue will lead into the next answer of the next clue. So for instance, if the answer to the thing that I was asking was Boys to Men and Blackjack, I would have said like, what's a movie about aliens starring Will Smith? And then the second clue would have been like, or no, sorry, the first one was like, what's an R&B band from the 90s who sang like End of the Road, and then like the Men in Black, and then a poker game. And then once you've locked in the answer, you say Boys to Men and Blackjack. Do you get it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
So if I read a clue, both you and Jaylene can answer, and whoever gets it first will get the point, and same for Jaylene. So Jaylene, why don't you kick us? These are all Albie themed, by the way.
Y'all better help me out.
Okay. Yes.
Albie/puppet theme.
Albie/puppet. So Jaylene, and you can only chime in when you have the full answer. You can't work it out loud. All right.
Really? Okay.
We'll see. Yes. So go for it, Jaylene.
First clue. Albie's best friend on the show. Okay. Got that. Hold that. Next clue. The little balls that you grind up to make the thing that is typically right alongside salt. Okay. And then the third clue is this is something you do during Halloween that you might find at a pumpkin patch, and you have to find your way out of it.
I got it.
Go ahead.
You have it, Cedwan?
I'm not sure if I do.
Which one don't you have?
The middle one.
Oh, the middle one. It's a little spice. Well, it makes a spice. If you have a grinder, it's filled with these things, and it's the opposite of salt. But it's the little things that make the thing that's the opposite of salt.
I'm doing it.
All right.
It's Huggy Peppercorn Maze.
Yeah.
Peppercorn. I was about to say pepper balls. I'm like pepper
Ball Maze. You know, that could very well be a countryism. My husband is from Tennessee, so there are things that I say like it could be like peppercorn. He's like, those are pepper balls. Like, okay, my first one is it's the British robot in the elevator that Cedwan puppeteer met plenty. The second clue is like when you have a whole bunch of little things, like here's things and other things. And then the last one is a cartoon that takes place in a fast food joint that has a family, and it's really, really popular. It's not sandwiches, but it's... Okay, go Cedwan. You got it all?
Tidbits and Bob's Burgers.
Yes, Bob, you got it. Tidbits and Bob's Burgers.
Thank you very much.
Bits and Bob's was
Bits and Bob's.
What did you think? What did you think? Bits and balls? Pepper balls?
You know, my brain completely checked out because I was like, yeah, bits and pieces. No, that's not checking out. I thought it was bits and pieces.
Yep.
Oh,
That's why it threw me off.
I want to chime in a little sidebar here. There was a show that I worked on. You have curriculum on educational TV shows. Yeah. There was a show that I worked on where somewhere in the script they wanted to say odds and ends. And curriculum chimed in and said, kids don't know what odds and ends are. And I was like, the Barney bag. The Barney bag back in the day, they sung about odds and ends that were in the, and I'm like, nobody knows what odds and ends are. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, do you know what they changed it to?
I don't. Maybe it was Bits and Bobs.
They changed it to peppercorns.
Yeah.
Jamie, let's hear your second one.
Okay. This one is very silly. The first one is, we actually talked about it earlier today. This is a type of puppet that is controlled by strings or wires attached to different parts of the puppet's body. All right. Okay. Second clue. This is someone's value. You want to find out their blank to know how much money they have.
Yep.
Okay. And third clue. If someone doesn't think you're valuable, they might say you're not blank. Like you're not valued even worth a penny. That one might be a look.
I think I might know.
Okay.
Mary and net worth a damn.
There you go.
Yes. I did not have that last one.
I feel like not worth a damn is a very southern.
Hilarious. I say you ain't worth a damn. You're like, oh.
Not worth a damn. All right, Cedwan, you've got two. All right, this it's where we all clocked into work for Albie's elevator. The second one is the setup for the punchline to get to the other side. And the last one is when you're behind the wheel and screaming.
Yep.
Okay.
Go ahead, Cedwan.
WHY, why did the chicken cross the road rage?
Yes.
Listen, no one does this well at this game. No guess.
Yeah, this is
good.
This is
maybe
true.
That'll transfer over to the freestyle.
We just have two more of these and then freestyle, and then we're gonna say good night.
All right.
Okay. My last one. First clue. What you and Liz and the folks on Sesame Street are who control Elmo and all the characters. Your job. What you all are called. And then the second clue is you might have these flowing from your eyes if you are really happy about something. And then the third clue is a popular Christmas song for which Whitney Houston has an incredible rendition.
I need them all again. I need them all again.
First clue. What you and Liz and
got that one.
Got that one. Second clue. You might have these flowing from your eyes if you are really happy about something.
Yeah.
And then the last one is a popular Christmas song for which Whitney Houston has an incredible rendition. It's from the Preacher's Wife soundtrack.
I don't know Whitney Houston.
Dang. I should know this. I'm about to get my black card taken.
Come on, Cedwan. Come on. What's it? How else can I describe this song?
Can you sing part of the song without giving the clue?
Okay, I have a guess.
Mm-hmm.
Puppeteers of joy to the world.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey.
There you go. There you go.
Hey,
That was it. That was it. I got it the second
Mike.
Cedwan.
Yeah.
Rob.
All right.
Mhm.
Jalen, you got to steal this one.
I know
Okay.
what's going on.
And you'll know why you have to steal this one, because the first one is like, you know what XOXO means, but do it OXOX. So OX. I don't know which represents which, but you get what I'm saying.
That's helpful.
The second one is a Seal song from a Batman movie, and the last one is Albie's friend that's not Zia or Jay.
Hugs. Wait, sorry. What was the first clue again?
Oh,
OX or XO.
Oh, hugs and kisses. Hugs and kiss from a Rosie.
Yes.
That is.
Hugged and kissed by a Rosie.
Kissed by a Rosie. Yes.
Or kissed from a rose. Is it
Listen,
kissed by or from?
One Cedwan. Let me get one.
Okay, you got it.
All right. We are here at near the end. But yeah, we're just gonna it's gonna be real gentle.
Real gentle.
Before we say goodbye, we're gonna join. You're gonna join us in our Pank freestyle.
Okay.
It's so easy. Jaylene and I are not freestyle artists. Never have been. Never will be.
That's right.
So this is just a chance for us to flop. Even though Jaylene is a award-winning poet, so Jaylene's gonna give me a topic. I'm gonna try to go first. Then I'll give you a topic, and then you'll go, and then you'll give Jaylene a topic.
All right.
Okay.
All right, Jalen. What's mine?
Your topic. What do we talk about? Your topic is just gonna be marionette. Yep.
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna do to you.
Marionette. I got my strings on me, moving all my limbs. I'm going this way and that way. I don't know who's gonna win.
Yes.
My body is moving. My soul is free. Because I'm a marionette and I love being me.
Hey!
Hey! Ooh, that is always so tricky. All right, Cedwan. Albies or puppeteer? Puppets. Albies or puppets?
Oh,
Is there a
okay.
theme?
Albies or puppets?
Yeah, Albie. Anything Albie, anything puppet, whatever you got.
All right. I'm walking in like Terminator, having fun in Albie's elevator.
Woo!
I got my friends, Jaylene and Jay. We're going to have a lot of fun today.
No. Okay, Pank Papa's secret. Here's a secret. Cedwan didn't want to do the Pank freestyle.
I was scared. I was.
But just slayed it.
Exactly. Exactly.
We've had many a person on here just tank, and that was not you.
Oh, well, good. I appreciate that.
Okay, what is
What a
Jaylene?
relief.
Give me my theme.
Now I can think about what you have to rap about. Let's see. Birds.
Oh, I really love the way Cedwan loves birds. Sounds like it's the way that I'm really in love with words. Birds can be free. They fly high in the sky. And I love the freedom that I get from my words when I don't even try.
Yes.
Oh, man.
All right. Oh my goodness, Jaylene, that was great. All right, Cedwan, we want to thank you so much for joining us.
This is my mom-in-law. She says you slayed it.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Before you go, Cedwan, can you remind us what projects you have coming up?
Yes, I will be touring with Albie's Elevator. Albie's Elevator, Lord. It was the freestyle that got me.
It's the same vowels.
Yeah, I will be touring with Annika's Elephants. It's actually Annika's Elephants, but we're touring this summer, and we'll be in North Carolina. Then we'll be at the Center for Puppetry Arts for 3 weeks.
Yes.
And then next year we're going to the New Victory Theater on Broadway.
Yes.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. And then what else? Oh, I'm really excited because I am remaking my high school's mascot. They used to be the Indians.
Oh,
Now they're the Bisons.
Okay.
And so I designed their mascot. So follow me on Instagram so you can see how that turns out. I'm really excited.
Yay.
I love that. Yes. So if you are in North Carolina or even Maryland, because you all are up opening for the Puppeteers of America Festival at the University of Maryland on July 18th.
Thank you.
So if you are there, if you are in Georgia, August 17th to September 3rd at the Center for Puppetry Arts. If you are in New York in March 27th to April 4th at the New Victory Theater, go out and see. Did you say Annika or Anika? Which did we decide?
Annika.
Annika.
We always hear all three, so don't even worry about it.
Annika's Elephants. That's so
Yes.
funny that you're on a show, Albie's Elevators, and now you're doing a show, Annika's Elephants.
Yes, exactly.
That's incredible. Oh, Cedwan, this has been just so joyful.
I just love y'all. Y'all are fun.
Yes.
I love you.
I'm like,
Next
if y'all
time-
told me to do this every week, I'd be like, oh yeah, let's do it.
Well, next time you're in Philly, please hit us up. We would love to see you. Hopefully, we'll be seeing you on set.
Yeah.
Right now with the freestyle.
Yes, folks love the freestyle. Yes, Cedwan, thank you so much.
Thank y'all. Thank you for having
You're
me.
welcome. Okay, we're gonna say bye to Cedwan now. Bye.
Oh, I love him. So good. And I'm so crossing my fingers for another season.
I love
If not of that show, of another show that we all magically three get to be on together.
Hello.
Maybe behind the scenes or on the stage.
There we go.
So Cedwan told us about his upcoming events. Now it's our turn to share some things to look out for in a segment we like to call Pank Forecast. So Jaylene, what do you have?
Pank Forecast.
El Morris,
Little help
I hope
from
you
my
are.
fan.
I hope you are tuning in, El Morris, because those voice lessons, I'm telling you. What do you have coming up, Jaylene?
Nothing. Summertime is what I have coming up.
Yes.
So, what do you have coming up?
Well, I have Shakespeare's 12th Night from the Wilma Theater is no longer on the stage, but is now on your computer, and you can zap it to your TV. It's streaming now until July 23rd, www.wilmatheater, that's with an er.org. If you don't know 12th Night, it's all about romance and twins that are separated and a shipwreck. And our version is very forward thinking, very exciting. So please watch that. Then Other Orbits with Applied Mechanics starts July 9th through 22nd, www.appliedmechanics.us. And this is a really exciting device piece that we've been working on for 5 years, y'all. 6 years. And this is the live version. It's sort of walk around theater. So there's multiple spaces and multiple things happening. And it's just sci-fi creatures and weirdos that are all trying to make a perfect society. So you can imagine what kinds of parallels and metaphors we are seeing in that one. Yeah. And lastly, we are both going to be looking forward to Albie's Elevator, WHYY, Monday through Friday, 9:30, Saturday through Sunday, 6:30 a.m., or WHYY Kids on YouTube. And you can see all of Jaylene and Cedwan's and my episodes are all up there. And I'm particularly excited about an episode that came out earlier called Lost Hat. There's a very Philly celebrity on that one that I got to do it with. Which episode do you want people to go see you in?
Oh, so many, all of them. And you can now see them on my website. If you go to JayleneClarkOwens.com, I think /Albie's Elevator, maybe. Go to my gallery on my website, and I've got all of my episodes on there. You can just watch it back to back to back. But one that comes to mind is Blueberry Kiwi Upside Down Carrot Cake, because that also features our fellow Hot House member, Melanie Finister. It's such a beautiful episode. And of course, the full tomato twist that I do with Justin here. It's a great episode. Throw, smell, pick, stomp. It's great. All right, nice. Here we are at the end of our episode. When will our next episode be? TBD. Y'all know how we do. We will let y'all know. Stay tuned to our Instagram, our Facebook. We will let y'all know when the schedules align, because Justin here is very busy, y'all. He just keep going from one show to the next because he's booked and busy. So we'll let y'all know when the next episode is, and let's end it with our JJ proverb. What wisdom do you have for us today, Justin? Give us a proverb about when you have to wear a costume, because when you have to put on whatever that means to you, when you have to put on. Give us a proverb about having to put on.
Yeah, when life makes you put on, put out.
Well, on that note, I hope everyone has a great
I hope you
week.
use that at the grocery store, because everybody's gonna give you free stuff.
Well, if you liked what you heard, or even if you didn't, if you'd like to donate to us, please feel free. We are at Poppa Pank on Cash App, PayPal, email. Just email us if you would like to give. Every little bit helps. $43 takes care of our StreamYard expenses and our Buzzsprout expenses. Buzzsprout is what we use to host our podcast, and StreamYard is what we use to be on this pink wall that we are
live version. So some of our credits, we want to thank Cedwan Hooks, our guest tonight, Jordan McCree, who wrote our music, Tracy A. Cassius, our studio editor, all of our past guests, and you, our followers, Pank Poppas. And thank you to anybody who's tuning in with us right now. Please continue to follow us and plug us on social media and subscribe to us on all of the platforms.
And with that, we hope that you have a great night. Okay, bye.